Max Verstappen claimed an impressive victory in an extraordinary Imola GP in which Lewis Hamilton recovered to second after a rear mistake whilst chasing the Red Bull, and Valtteri Bottas and George Russell were involved in a huge collision. On a chaotic and dramatic afternoon which began in challenging mixed weather conditions, Verstappen claimed the lead at the start from third on the grid when he overtook Hamilton as the two title rivals made contact into turn 2. Verstappen came under pressure from his Mercedes rival around the pit stops, but Hamilton blew his opportunity for the victory when he slithered into the gravel while lapping George Russell. Russell was soon involved in a nasty looking collision with the other Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas, which put both drivers out of the race and saw the race red flagged to clear the debris. The drivers blamed each other for the crash, which is being investigated by the stewards. Hamilton had pitted for a new front wing and dropped into ninth a lap down. However, with lap runners able to rejoin the lead lap for the restart, the 7-time world champion drove stirringly and error-free for the succession of passing moves, and took second place from McLaren's impressive Lando Norris with 2 laps to go. On my side, it was not the greatest day. It's the first time I've made a mistake in a long time, but still I'm grateful I was able to bring the car home today, said Hamilton, who claimed the fastest lap bonus point to stay 1 point ahead of Verstappen in the championship. But Norris, so dejected after a track limits error in qualifying had left him 7th, still claiming their final podium ahead of Ferrari's Charles Leclerc in just the British youngster's second top 3 finish in F1. Leclerc headed Ferrari teammate Carlos Sainz home in 4th and 5th, with Daniel Ricciardo 6th and 2nd McLaren and Lance Stroll 7th for Aston Martin. Red Bull Sergio Perez had a race to forget from the front row, finishing 12th. Overtaken by both Verstappen and Leclerc at the start, he picked up a 10-second penalty for overtaking the early safety car for a crash for Nicholas Latifi, and then spun back after the restart. Few seasons, if any, has been quite as dramatic as the early stages of 2021. If the Bahrain season opener had been gripping due to the Hamilton-Verstappen head-to-head victory fight, Imola was simply astonishing and unpredictable from start to finish. Rain showers in the 45 minutes before the race threw a curveball into proceedings, particularly as some of the 3.1 mile track was wet and treacherous and other parts were dry. Drivers struggled on their laps of the grid, with 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso hitting the barriers and requiring repairs. Verstappen started behind Hamilton and Perez, but was quickly ahead of the sister Red Bull at the lights and challenged Mercedes on the long run to the turn 2 chicane. With Verstappen ahead on the inside line for the left-hander, the two title rivals made wild contact at the apex, with Hamilton taking to the curbs. Stewards soon ruled that no investigation was warranted. Verstappen opened the lead of around 5 seconds, but as the track dried and the Red Bull's intermediate tyres started to slide, Hamilton closed back in and Red Bull brought the race leader into the pits for dry tyres. Hamilton stayed out an extra lap and started to push, but any hope of overcutting his Dutch rival was ended when he was stationary in the Mercedes pit box for 4 seconds, with Verstappen regaining the lead. But Hamilton soon had bigger worries than that. When lapping Russell, he got onto the wet line at Tosa and dropped the Mercedes into the gravel, touching the barriers. While the race was suspended for Russell's and Bottas' crash, Hamilton was seen crouching down the pit lane and appeared hugely frustrated with himself. There was only one dry line, and I guess I was in too much of a hurry to get by everyone, said Hamilton. I came to the inside and I could see it was wet and I was trying to stop, but the thing that wouldn't stop me, and it sent me off. A bit unfortunate, but I am really grateful we were able to get going again and get some points for the team. It was really important. Today's big incident involved 2 drivers who may be fighting for the same Mercedes seat for 2022. Bottas, initially promising the weekend, had gone into a tailspin from Q3 on Saturday when he qualified 8th, and the fact he was racing Russell's Williams as late into the race as lap 30 for Knights underlined how bad his Sunday was going. The 2 cars collided at the superfast Tamburello, which features a kink in the straight, and Russell said that by moving slightly right, Bottas pushed him into the wet grass. Russell said there is a gentleman's agreement that you shouldn't do that, it's because it's incredibly dangerous. In completely dry conditions, I would have been fine, but it put me on the wet patch and I lost it. An unfortunate incident, but we're going at 200 miles per hour. You need to respect the speed and conditions. But Bottas said, I've seen the replay and there was definitely space for the 2 cars and all the time, so I don't know what he was trying to say. It was completely his fault. After exiting his crash Williams, Russell approached Bottas' car in the gravel, with the 2 appearing to have a bit of a disagreement with each other, but hopefully that gets ironed out within time. Before I go, here was the final classification. Verstappen just absolutely dominant and showing his class once again. Hamilton, incredible comeback drive, and I don't think he would have won the race anyway. Norris and the Ferrari, I think they'll be pretty pleased, although Ferraris maybe think they could have got past him. Ricciardo just still not up to speed in the McLaren yet. Stroll getting some really disappointing points, as did Raikkonen. Gasly will probably be fairly happy with that, with his disastrous stint early on. Alpine are probably just happy to get points. Perez really disappointing for him, as for Yuki Tsunoda, where it looked like he got back up. Giovinazzi and Vettel just really not that great. Haas both had their own separate incidents, not too great for them either, and still a lot of work to do. Bottas in the whole had a really poor weekend, and Williams will be gutted, as this was probably one of their best chances to score points. But anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily F1 news, and subscribe to my channel on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!